The oceans are the epitome of beauty. But don't be fooled, because this is a very dangerous environment to live in. It's a world filled with apex predators, poisonous prey, and powerful currents. Yet life has existed here longer than it has anywhere else on the planet. And so it's had no choice but to master the art of protection.
It might be a dog-eat-dog world topside, but down here, it's big fish eats little fish. Anything that's not at the top of the food chain must adapt to stay alive. Take one of the shark's favorite meals. A creature hunted by these prehistoric apex predators is perhaps, understandably, hard to find.
I still can't see the octopus. Where is it? Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Look at that color. Exceptional octopus camouflage. You really wouldn't be able to see it unless you were looking for it. Go. Got it. It's everywhere. Not only is the octopus a master of camouflage, it's clearly a master of evasion.
As a last line of defense, an octopus will use ink to confuse a predator's senses.
What an incredible animal. Such a privilege to be down here with this fascinating creature. So stunning.
These are exactly the kinds of defense mechanisms that I'm here to investigate. Whether prey or predator, in a world as dangerous as this, you need all the protection you can get. Spines, armor, and chemical weapons. Over 3.8 billion years, evolution has served up a spectacular array of defensive tactics. This journey is the culmination of years of experience investigating how nature can teach us how to better defend ourselves in this ever-changing world.
Doesn't let go.
Could the animal kingdom help us detect deadly new threats?
Oh, whoa!
Or help us protect our most vulnerable?
This is really cool. I love that.
And perhaps even make ourselves impervious to danger. My journey begins with a team who are trying to crack evolution's very own cloaking device.
Yeah, and it got away from us for a second there, but that was great.
Yeah, great job wrangling it. Really, really well done.
Yeah.
In the bag is an animal that's been honing its defensive strategies for 500 million years.
That was awesome.
Over that time, it's evolved a whole suite of impressive abilities. But it's their ability to all but shapeshift that has scientists like Heather really interested.
So, should we just pop him in?
Let's,
Or her in?
yeah, let's see. Well, we can actually do that first if we want to see if it's a male or a female. Looks like a female to me, actually.
So what are you looking for?
So on the bottom here, you're looking for some large suckers, and we're only seeing regular size kind of going all the way down. So it looks like probably female.
It's amazing just the feeling of the suckers on my hand. It's just, I don't know how to describe it.
Life is pretty short if you're an octopus like this one. She'll only live a couple of years at best. But without her evolutionary tricks, she wouldn't survive a fraction of that time. she's descended from ancient snails. At some point, her kind abandoned their hard protective shells and had to develop new ways to defend themselves. Her soft, squishy body makes her an easy meal. As a result, evolution has armed her with some impressive tools. 8 legs to move quickly around the reef, and exceptional problem-solving skills to outwit predators. That complex nervous system is key to performing one of the most fascinating disappearing acts in nature. Generations of scientists have been obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the octopus's camouflage. A supernatural skill that Heather wants to demonstrate with a simple research demo.
Well, let's get her in the water. We've had her out of the water for a little while. Wow, look, so right away she got really dark as soon as we got her in that water.
Yeah, definitely.
The secret to the octopus's color-shifting abilities are these. Chromatophores. They're essentially sacs of different colored pigment that sit just below the surface of the skin. Chromatophores swell and shrink, controlling which colors are displayed. But this colorful palette needs an artist. And that is where the octopus's beautifully bizarre brain comes in. When she wants to mimic something in her surroundings, her brain sends electrical signals to control the colors displayed by the chromatophores.
Like a balloon filled with dye.
Exactly.
So if you push that dye closer
Yeah.
to the surface, it's, you know, creating that tension, you can see that color more brightly.
Exactly.
And then once you release it, you can see, well, you can't see the dye so much, and maybe it's just the color of the balloon. And I guess that's what's happening beneath the skin of this octopus.
That nice dark color, sometimes they'll do that to kind of make themselves look a little bit bigger. It's kind of a response to predators.
Puffing herself up like that.
Exactly, making herself look a little bit bigger and scarier, that dark color.
The octopus's brain uses inputs from her eyes, touch from her arms, and even light-sensitive proteins in her skin to accurately mimic her surroundings. Heather's placed some coral in this tank to reveal just how far they can push their abilities. Beyond their kaleidoscope of colors, octopuses can even morph the texture of their skin. Regions called papillae use muscles to create bumps, spikes, and even branches.
So you want to try it, moving it to the next one?
I'll give it a go. How do you hold an octopus?
Well, you kind of want to get under her arms and support her, but you don't want to get your fingers close to that beak because you don't want to get bitten.
Okay, so
You got it, you got it. You're supporting the mantle, which is good, but if you don't have the arm, she's going to fight you.
okay.
You kind of want to get... Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Now she's getting that dark color again,
Yeah.
probably responding
Much
to
more.
those stones. No more papillae. She's starting to see, you know, those smoother rocks.
I reckon that if we were to find life on another planet, it would look like that.
I hope so.
Mm.
Honestly, sometimes I think if octopuses lived longer, they would just take over the world because they're so smart and adaptable. And...
Hello. What's going on, mate? I'm just in awe. I just like watching it.
Yeah.
The only thing left to do is return our octopus to her rocky outcrop. And in a hushed goodbye, she gives us one last display of her defensive skills and simply disappears. Leaving the octopus's playground behind, it's clear that our own attempts at camouflage are pretty primitive compared to what evolution has cooked up.
Cephalopods like octopus, squid, cuttlefish, they are
really incredible at camouflage and blending into their surroundings. But for us, we don't even come close to that level of skill. What we do have is something called digital camouflage. And the design has been generated by a computer algorithm. It basically breaks up different shapes and patterns so it's not as easily recognizable. But it's not that great, really, is it, when we think about it? And if we're able to generate, I know, a way of better camouflaging people, buildings, and maybe even wildlife, you know, that would be pretty awesome. Now, Heather's put me on to a scientist who's working on some tech just like this in Boston. So I think I'd better get myself onto a plane and over to her. I'm meeting Layla Darabi. She is a professor here at Northeastern University, Boston. She's been studying cephalopod skin, so I reckon if anybody knows where this technology is going, it's going to be her. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Thanks for coming.
You're a biomaterials scientist. So for the average person, what does that mean?
So as a lab, we became really early on super obsessed with the chromatophores. So we're trying to figure out from the biology side, how do these compounds work? And essentially we found a core group of compounds called xanthomatin and decarboxylated xanthomatin.
Say those two names again.
Xanthomatin.
Xanthomatin.
And decarboxylated xanthomatin.
What?
You could just say xanthomatin.
No, I want to know what they are.
I want to know it.
Yeah.
Decarboxylated.
Decarboxylated
xanthomatin. Xanthomatin.
This is good. You can see where this is going, huh?
Xanthomatin.
Okay.
But essentially, it's so crazy because this one core group of compounds can contribute to a bunch of different colors, and we'll show all of that to you in the lab.
It'd be great to check out some of your experiments.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. Which way are we headed?
We're going this way.
Yeah, cool.
Something kind of cool about being in a lab, you know? Takes me back to my uni days.
Layla and her team have gone way beyond just mimicking the octopus's expanding and shrinking chromatophores. They found an isolated evolution's secret ingredient for color changing, a compound that's more than 500 million years in the making.
So here in this little stage is xanthomatin in different solvents and solvent systems, and so we're able to achieve a vast array of color.
The octopus chromatophores don't themselves change color. They simply reveal more or less of a specific color, combining their action for an overall effect. Xanthomatin is the key ingredient responsible for giving each chromatophore its color.
Layla, Erica, are you telling me that you've essentially cracked the code to the secrets of cephalopod skin?
It's just only one piece of the very large puzzle for how these animals camouflage.
Right.
What we're really excited about is taking those compounds and actually putting them into materials and films that we can use to sort of simulate the cephalopod skin.
Layla's team have effectively distilled camouflage into a bottle, but how are they going to get it to work like real octopus skin?
To me and to anybody at home, that kind of looks like something out of, you know, a sci-fi movie.
Pretty quickly, we can go between the red and yellow states that xanthomatin offers.
The team have connected a pair of electrodes to this film of xanthomatin. Like the nerve impulses from an octopus's brain, the electrodes trigger the color change. The electricity isn't changing the amount of color we see. It's causing a chemical reaction that changes the color from red to yellow.
As we move forward, we can continue to iteratively improve on these devices to create devices that provide more dramatic color change.
These are the first steps to mimicking the octopus's adaptive camouflage. With the first part of the puzzle cracked, I'm curious, how could we use this technology for our own defense? Well, the hope lies right here. One day soon, these panels could be woven together into multi-purpose displays, mimicking their surroundings by using the visual inputs of cameras.
It just seems so incredible because the potential applications are, you know, far and wide. The obvious application would be militaristic. So where do you see this technology going? What would you hope the future applications might be?
We're thinking about all these types of things and ways that we can build devices and materials that can communicate non-verbally to our surroundings.
Beyond the obvious use of this tech in war zones, I want to know what else it can offer. Perhaps this adaptive camouflage could help defend nature. Could it be all we ever needed was a bit of octopus magic to protect our endangered wildlife?
When it comes to observing animal behavior, we're really just at the tip of the iceberg. And that in itself is limited by getting researchers and filmmakers into places where they can see natural behavior without altering them or scaring the animals away. But could camouflage help us get closer to animals?
If we could get closer to the natural world, we could better understand its secrets, unlocking new science and potentially new doors for biomimicry.
The human body is pretty impressive, and when push comes to shove, it can withstand some seriously extreme forces. In our everyday lives, to protect our bodies from sudden impacts, we have to limit the amount of force that our bodies experience, and we do that through things like knee pads, helmets, safety belts, and airbags.
Human beings are always going to push the limits to go harder, faster, and further. But as we do that, the risk of injury to our delicate bodies increases. Evolution has provided some protection, like a reinforced skull for our brain. But what happens in the future when what we're born with isn't enough? The answer could be hiding in the holes of trees like this in California. Holes that were made by one of the hardiest heads in the natural world. It's autumn, and this acorn woodpecker is in full winter prep. At the heart of it all is this, the granary tree. He spends every day tending to it. A tree can hold up to 50,000 acorns. And he vigorously defends it against any would-be thieves. But the best tactic for protecting his stash is locking it away. He's evolved a means for smashing acorns deep into the wood, putting them out of reach of the competition. Although he might look like a delicate bird, his head is essentially both a hammer and a chisel. With each sledgehammer blow, the woodpecker's head decelerates at a force 20 times greater than a lethal head-on car crash. For you or I, a single blow like this would be enough to kill us instantly. So, how does he survive? The answer is tucked away inside the woodpecker's head. His skull isn't exceptionally thick. But what he does have is a tweaked version of what most vertebrates already possess. A hyoid bone, a small U-shaped structure that supports the tongue. In most birds, this runs from the bottom of the mouth to the back of the head. But his extends backwards, all the way over the top of the skull. It effectively becomes a seatbelt for the brain, preventing it from rattling around under the force of impacts. His spongy skull also acts like a shock absorber, which is better equipped for these repeated blows. Finally, his beak diverts the force of the blow to the lower part of the skull, safely dispersing it across his body.
Scientists and designers are creating safety equipment based on the woodpecker. And they've been doing it using some rather unexpected materials. In fact, one US designer has decided to use cardboard to replicate the spongy layer skull.
Animals that endure high forces could transform everyday life. In the natural world, you never quite know when the next threat will arise. which is why detection could be the best form of defense.
Maybe if I can find a good hiding place. Then I'll lose them. And we'll just hide here.
Let me introduce you to one of nature's finest detection systems.
Doesn't want to let go.
Well done. I'm
Thank
so
you.
impressed.
I tried to run.
Yeah,
I tried my best.
The greatest threat out here isn't actually to any of us humans. It's to the endangered wildlife. And if I've learned anything on this journey, it's that every single species has the potential to improve our future. It's vital we give them a fighting chance. And round these parts, that job falls to Marlies and her anti-poaching team.
I can't even get up. Well done.
I want to know, how did the dogs track me down so quickly?
You have something in there that she was taught on, and that is a rhino horn, oil pangolin, or drugs. So one of the three is in your bag, so I hope it's not drugs.
No.
Because then we might get to arrest you.
Yeah.
So let's see what's in there.
All right, cool.
You're a naughty poacher. It's a sumo poacher.
Okay, so this is my bag. Aha. Boom. This is what it is. Can I hold that?
Yeah.
This is what it all comes down to. That, to me, and to everybody at home, that looks like a piece of rhino horn.
Yep. That's a piece of rhino horn.
How much would that fetch on the black market?
So it's almost 100,000 US.
I mean, that's a lot of money. How big a problem is poaching?
In Namibia, only in Namibia, 30 rhinos has been poached in 2020 that we know of, that was reported. The battle will continue, and we have to fight it and make sure that these animals are protected.
Do you think that having these dogs working alongside the team, has it made any difference?
In 3 years, we've not had one incident of people trying to get into the reserve because we are proactive.
Marlies' dogs are highly trained. They have to protect nearly 20,000 acres of land. But out here, there's no telling what you might find around the next bush.
And they're trying to shoo this rhino away, and they're doing that by clapping. I think we might be here for a little while. Has anybody got any popcorn?
No? Snacks? No?
Ooh. Oh, thank you. There we go. Yeah.
A real poacher would be much harder to detect than me in a sumo suit. Marlies puts her dogs through training scenarios to get them ready for the real thing. Today's test? Tracking a scent across miles of dense bush.
So what's the plan right now, Marlies?
So the plan is we've got a spoor dog and one attack dog. We have a guy out that's left a trail for us. So we're gonna spoor and find the trail with Nala to find the guy.
You mentioned the spoor. What's a spoor?
So the spoor is footprints. So it's really difficult to find any footprints in this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find anything. How long can a dog like Nala remember a scent for?
So Nala's still young. She's 9 months old, and she's just getting the hang of it. So I've seen that she can go up to 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
If we could see these scents, it would reveal the dog's incredible view of the world. Trace scents, like our rhino horn, are like a needle in a haystack. But Nala can increase her sensitivity by separating her sniffing air from the air she's using to breathe. To identify any target odors, she has around 300 million scent receptors, while you and I only have around 6 million. Each sniff lights up her receptors like a Christmas tree, sending signals to the olfactory part of her brain. Out here, real poachers won't be easy to track down, so it's a good thing her sense of smell is up to 100,000 times more powerful than ours.
And so what's she looking for right now?
She's now looking for a scent. Nala. Nala.
That smells good.
So that right there, this area, this is the spoor. Personally, I can't see anything.
So Nala's trying to pick up the scent. I think she's
So we're on the trail.
Yep. Nala's got the scent, which is good. This is a prime example of how a dog's sense of smell is way better than ours.
So I'm gonna give it to you.
So one hand through here.
Yeah, and you keep her on your
On my left.
left.
So.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, she's definitely on it. Good boy.
More, more.
Suck, suck.
Suck,
Yeah, good girl. Suck,
Suck,
suck, suck, suck, suck, suck, suck, suck, suck,
Okay, get up, Petrus.
suck. Marlies, that was a proper exercise, and I was out of breath. But that command you gave me to give Nala, suck, suck, look for that smell, look for that scent, look for that odor. She was on it.
And you can see how she reacts. She changes. And
Yeah.
she started lifting her head because there was a lot of other smells, but she's tuned in.
Oh, she was bouncing, jumping up over the grass, using her eyes as well to try and see if she can spot, well, our mock poacher. But that was brilliant. That was amazing. That keen sense of smell. But I also think that maybe the key to their incredible sense of smell lies in the physical structure of the nose as well. Good girl, Nala.
Nala's nose has been evolving for 40 million years. It's a key adaptation carried over from her ancestor, the wolf. Out here on the tundra, that nose is what helps keep this mother and her pups alive. Their pack survives by working together to hunt their prey. In places like this, food is scarce. Territorial battles with other packs over hunting grounds can be deadly. Scent isn't just useful for finding prey, she uses it for communication and, crucially, for detecting danger. Pups are an easy target for hungry rivals, so Mum does all she can to defend them. Her ability to mark territory and detect other wolves is a matter of life and death. Dogs have allowed us to harness their sense of smell to protect everything from wildlife to, well, us. Something that becomes clear as I hop onto my next flight.
Tracking down things like contraband, weapons, harmful substances is something that postal services, border patrol, and airports, right? That's one of the challenges that they face. In fact, one test showed that 95% of bombs and harmful substances that went through security did so undetected, which, I mean, considering the lines that we're going through, I'm not too sure I'm too pleased with. But that is why dogs are so important. They have an incredible sense of smell and they can track down this contraband really easily. The only problem is that they are really expensive to train, and also they can only work for so long before their scent receptors start to become fatigued. And so what we really need is a technology that can work 24/7, 365 days a year.
Here we are. Welcome to NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. It's my chance to meet up with Matt Staymate.
Matt's team have been working to harness the detection prowess of the dog's nose, only without the limitations that come with using a real dog. And his research might help to keep us safe in the future.
Walk this way and let's check out the lab.
Awesome. What am I looking at? This looks really cool.
We wanted to understand what the dog is doing with its environment. What is it actually doing when it's sniffing on the ground? So we ended up 3D printing an anatomically correct dog's nose. So this is a snout of a female Labrador retriever. And we built a special system that makes the lab sniff like a real dog sniff. So this is a Schlieren optical system. It is a very unique imaging system that allows us to see things we can't normally see.
Oh, wow. So what's going on there?
So what we're looking at here is the heat rising off of my hand.
That's awesome.
Try this, just a lighter.
Whoa, oh, wow.
So
look.
that is the warm plume of air.
Many substances emit their very own unique chemical signature in the form of a scent. Even though you can't see them, your brain can still identify them using the body's olfactory system. But the trace scents of explosives and contraband are barely detectable by most off-the-shelf vapor detectors.
So Matt, this is just the tool. How does it translate, when we think of like a real dog's nose and an electronic dog's nose?
And we're gonna watch right now what happens
when you replicate that.
Yeah, first thing you can do is kind of squirt that with some acetone.
Okay.
And then whenever you're ready, we're gonna see what a dog does in action.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
And look at how far of a distance. Like, we're pretty close here, but look at this.
It's still quite effective. Look at that. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So here's what's happening. The dog, as it exhales, there's a turbulent air jet that comes out of each nostril and is vectored down in this direction. So it's exhaling in this direction. And then it reverses flow and it inhales. And it sucks up what it just pulled towards itself, spits out the old, pulls in the new. So the dog is reaching out, pulling in odorant from an extended distance, inhaling it, and analyzing it with this amazing chemical detector, right, the olfactory system, and repeating this 5 times a second. So this is the reason that the dog is a smart sampler.
Detection, fine, we can do that, and we can analyze different volatile compounds. But getting them, sampling them, bringing them in from a distance is what we need to work on. And it seems that dogs, canines, wolves have mastered that. That is part of their world.
So we took a whole bunch of commercially available vapor detectors, and we designed and 3D printed these custom, you want to call them nostrils in a way? We made these systems sniff like a dog. And what we found was that when we used biomimicry on these instruments, we saw an improvement by about a factor of 18 in its ability to detect vapors from a given distance.
There, and then those 2 holes is where the air is going to be coming in and then being exhaled as well. So it's a very simple way of improving the sampling.
That's right. Now that little system is able to reach out and pull vapors that it otherwise would have never had a fighting chance to see.
Matt's team has me thinking, how far could we take snout-inspired tech in the future? I've heard that airports screen up to 4.3 billion passenger bags a year. And with the need to detect threats in law enforcement, on battlefields, and in the freight industry, and there's just way too much for dogs to do it alone. Dog nose-inspired sniffers could give us enhanced detection systems that don't need food, water, sleep, or even much training. But I know this tech can go even further. Dogs can already detect human diseases before we even know we're sick. What if these detectors could help us sniff out people who are unaware they're contagious? We could potentially stop pandemics before they even start. I've been constantly on the go throughout this journey, and I've been sending all my data back to the production team thousands of miles away. But as modern threats continue evolving, all that data is at risk. Our own information can now be turned against us.
Take this device, for example, my smartphone. It contains information pretty much on every aspect of my life, from my password, pictures, my location, my bank details. But the danger isn't in the fact that it's on this device. The danger lies in the fact that this phone is connected to a virtual network, the World Wide Web. So anybody with know-how could potentially access it. But surprisingly, the key to protecting us in the digital age could lie with a creature that invented the original web.
The spider. Unlike its phobia-inducing cousins, this dancing spider will leave you spellbound. And it's important that we all try learning to love spiders because they may, one day, become our saviors. Over the millennia, spiders have evolved an incredible array of shapes, colors, sizes, and skills. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect remains their elaborate webs, evolution's answer for catching their prey. These intricate webs are usually built by just one spider. Most spiders are highly antisocial. Some females are so antisocial, they'll even try to eat their mates. But amongst the 40,000 different species, there are a few spiders that have learnt to put their differences aside, reinforcements to protect the web from the invader.
You can imagine cyberspace as a virtual web. When an irregularity is noticed, it sends out a signal, just like a real insect would send out real vibrations on a real web. Monitoring devices act as social spiders, working together to detect intruders on a virtual network. Just like social spiders, the more monitoring devices on the network, the quicker they can find the intruder. And this means expending less energy and shutting down the threat more efficiently.
Hacking and cyber warfare are front lines of the future, where billions of dollars can be stolen and our livelihoods endangered with the click of a button. With each internet-connected device, computers, phones, Wi-Fi routers, our digital web grows. And each device is another backdoor for would-be attackers. Once inside the network, the damage can spread quickly. So the key lies in detecting these intruders and neutralizing them as fast as possible. Hoping to combat digital threats, researchers in Nigeria have carefully studied the behavior of social spiders. They used special monitoring devices and spider-inspired algorithms to detect intruders.
Now, having spent some time looking at some of the most successful creatures on this planet, there is one that I just couldn't possibly ignore. It's known the world over for being super resilient. So resilient, in fact, that it can survive sometime without its head.
In the grand scheme of things, the ultimate form of protection would be total invincibility. Now, this creature can't quite boast that, but it's pretty indestructible nonetheless. They say cockroaches will be the first creatures to emerge after a nuclear apocalypse. So what better animal to learn from? We just need to muster up the courage to film them.
Not our favourite animals, these. But I think you're covered.
No. I don't want cockroaches in my shoes. Like a young Padawan, Luke Skywalker, as he goes to face his mortal enemy, the Darth Roach. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go find some roaches.
Okay. Here we go. Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. It's actually not Wizard of Oz, it's Mike Masterson. And look, there he is. Mike?
Hey,
how's
Patrick.
it going?
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to find dinner?
Absolutely.
Mike is the retired CEO of a pest control company, but these days has changed sides somewhat, choosing to spend his days researching the very cockroaches and other critters many of us would rather avoid.
Look, I've come prepared.
Yeah.
Lovely, wonderful gloves. Look at this. Spared no expense.
I think you're ready for this.
Yeah?
Hopefully it's just roaches we're going to find today, nothing else.
Fingers crossed.
What is it about cockroaches that you think just sends a shiver down people's spine?
One of the main things is just to see how dirty that is. Everybody thinks roaches are dirty, and they're actually not. They're very clean insects. They continue to groom their legs, and that's one of the ways they stay very clean.
In the world of creepy crawlies, roaches are the #1 boogeyman. But if we put aside our repulsion, even I have to admit, they're remarkable creatures. Evolution armed them with long antennae to detect food and danger from afar, and wings to help them escape predators. They have a mouth that can chomp through 50 times their own body weight, which is why very little can stop them. They're also omnivores, eating anything from bread to leather. So one man's trash really is a cockroach's treasure.
You think of how we're going through this looking for them. This is what they're doing, trying to find food all day long.
Cockroaches are actually related to termites, but instead of living in a sturdy mound, they evolved a different suite of defenses. Their legs have 3 knees to carry them at speeds of over 5 feet a second, which for you and me is like running at 200 miles per hour.
So this now becomes a very interesting area for us to look. But again, I'm sure if we came out here at midnight, we would probably find some activity. But because it's in the daylight and they tend to stay away from the light, we have to now start digging, okay, where will they go? Well, they're going to go down that sewer tube.
With the ability to withstand extreme heat and cold, cockroaches adapted to our planet's most unsavory spaces. If they lose a limb, they can simply grow a new one the next time they molt their exoskeleton. Plus, its body is remarkably flexible, helping it to squeeze into tiny gaps and avoid threats, like me.
Wherefore art thou, cockroach? Are you picking up that odor? Do you smell?
Something. I don't know what it is, but
I'll tell you what. Let's look at this area right here. So again, here's dirty laundry coming out. Dirty laundry has what on it? Food debris. Plainly said, exactly correct. So look at these towels.
Yeah,
Here we go. Look at that. So we know this is a great food source. So the roaches.
Dead skin.
Right.
Just all sorts, just left out here.
So we know that they're not going to harbor in this area right now because of the daylight. They're nocturnal. So I think they might be in this little area here.
Probably not. Oh yeah, there's one in there.
You got something?
No, there's 2. Oh no, there's loads of them. Oh.
Oh wow, yeah, you got it.
That's disgusting.
Oh my, so is this how they are during the daytime? They're kind of all resting like this.
Exactly.
They don't look like they're moving that much.
Well, right now, basically, you figure this is their nighttime, so they're sleeping. I mean, this is an area where they're resting. I mean, it's...
Gosh, doesn't this creep you out?
No, actually, kind of, it's like a little playground. You know, I'm looking at the kids playing in the playground.
Oh, man.
There we go, they're waking up now. Oh yeah, they don't want any part of this. And then you have the adults.
Don't wake them up too much.
Coming right out of it.
Especially not the flying ones.
Yeah, as soon as we... Let's take one of these guys out and take a closer look at it. You gotta be careful, these things can fly also.
Don't put that near my face. You're so mean.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at this thing. Got a little jar there.
There we go. Perfect.
Mike, you know, I've heard that these critters are really, really industrious, really hardy. And in fact, they can withstand a lot of pressure. How much?
Between 300 and 900 times their body weight.
Wow.
So right now I'm putting pressure on to kind of simulate them going underneath a door through maybe, let's say, a crack in the wall. And as you can see, as the pressure goes out, it's expanding. It can literally be like an accordion and shrink down 40 to 60% of its size and still move freely.
Where do you think that the cockroach could help us?
Well, I think number one is we have to look at how long they've survived. Their ancestors go back 280 million years. So you're looking at, here this American roach is literally generations and generations of evolving into a survivor. If that's not enough to teach us on what we need to do to take our biometrics to the next level, I don't know what is.
I might not be a cockroach lover just yet, but I've been invited to a lab that wants to show me the beauty in these virtually indestructible insects.
Look at those epic mountains, blue sky. A beautiful day here in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm hot on the heels of one of the researchers that Mike put me in touch with.
His name is Kaushik Jayaram. His research combines biology with robotics to uncover how animals maneuver around their environments.
I'm looking inside this box. A nightmare for some. So you've got a couple of different species of cockroach here.
Yeah.
Which ones are in here?
So the ones we have here are the Madagascar hissing roaches. These are a bit bigger than the American ones.
Can I pick them up?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
I'm not a big fan of the American cockroaches, I gotta say, but these guys and gals are really cool. They've got this really hard exoskeleton. They're massive, really big, but they can also use it to do this. If we bring the mic in, you guys can have a little listen. Expel air in that hissing sound to try and warn predators or annoying TV hosts to go away. That's cool, isn't it? I like these cockroaches. They're cool. Armored giants.
Time to see how Kaushik's pet roaches have fueled his research. Walking into his lab is like entering a treasure trove of biomimicry-inspired wonders. Many of the robots appear to be based on different aspects of the cockroach's biology. This one can even squeeze through small spaces, just like its real-life counterpart.
One of the cool things you can do is you can actually run the robot off the table and see really how robust these systems are. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess we should see if it still works, which it does. This is really cool. I love that.
Well, if you think that's cool, we have some robots which are even smaller. So we're beginning to approach and shrink these robots to the size of insects, and we're trying to make them even smaller. Let's take a look at them.
Yes, let's do it. Ah.
Yeah, so this tiny thing, so you can grab the tweezers and grab them by the earlobe.
Right here.
Pick them up. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Take a look at them.
Look at that. I think this is probably the smallest robot that I've ever seen, actually. And it's really cool. I love the intricacy of this machine. Of course, those fine filament wires clearly tells you how small this thing is. And the arrangement is, it's incredible. Just for reference, that right there is a 1 cent penny. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Actually, can I pick this up as well?
Yeah.
So let's have a look at it, because that to me looks like a little miniature wing. So you're also trying to figure out how to make flying robotic insects as well?
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to take these wings and integrate them with the robots. And so these robots can be multifunctional. So depending on the situation, they can either fly or they can choose to crawl on land if it's more efficient.
That's really impressive. I love that.
There's a lot of potential to do good with robots interacting with humans, and some of the key directions where we're thinking these robots can really be influential. Obviously, things like search and rescue.
And the time-critical nature of trying to find survivors from the aftermath of an earthquake, for example. Imagine having these, hundreds of these, being able to just send them out into a potentially really dangerous environment for those first responders and be able to locate exactly where victims are. That would be so cool.
Team Cockroach or not, we can't ignore the future these mini-bots could offer us. We might not like the idea of being saved by a roach, but just imagine teams of tiny protectors. They'd be tough, flexible, and a game changer in emergency situations. all the cockroach's evolutionary genius packed into microbots. Capable of deploying into life-threatening scenarios like this. Collapsed buildings are hazardous for human rescue teams, and it's a race against time to find survivors. Robo-roaches could squeeze themselves into impossible places, meaning less risk for rescuers and better odds for survivors. Some parts of the world see as many as 2,500 deaths a year from collapsed structures. So, could robo-roaches be our saviors? As this chapter of my biomimicry research concludes, I can't help but reflect on the ways that nature can help protect us and our loved ones. We've tapped just a tiny fraction of the potential found in the natural world. There's around 8.7 million species out there, each with their own defensive secrets. So the best way to protect ourselves is by protecting as many of them as we can.